Ooh, good morning, hello, this is the end. That's it.
That's it.
Nick, the pneumatics arts adventure is over.
It's the big, long dream. Beautiful dream.
It really feels like it was just one. Yeah, okay. That's it. Now we gotta change course because, well, next up. Happy 2019. We're discussing dreams and goals today. As you can see, I have had the fortunate opportunity to take a little trip to New Mexico, which happens to be my favorite place in the world. So I met up with Meredith in Santa Fe, where we, from there, actually went to Wiseful, which is like the circus company in Santa Fe. Like they're, I think, literally the only one, but the coolest one at the same time. Went there, hung out for a little bit, met up with some friends, and then we trekked on over to Taos, where we stayed in an Earthship. And I'm not sure how familiar with Earthships you guys are, but there is a connection with circus. Trust me, this one is kind of it's a long connection, but it connects. So I've had this fascination with Earthships since like 2015. I think I've been looking them up for, well, since 2015, but I've been doing a lot of research on the pros and cons in the past year or so, I think, more than anything else. So we were up there, and I wanted to stay up there because it was winter specifically, and last time I stayed in Earthship it was summer, so it's a big difference to staying there. But the whole premise behind the Earthship, and there's plenty of videos you can watch on them, but the main one is that they can heat themselves and cool themselves without the use of a heater or an air conditioner. So you can see why being there in the winter I thought was a big deal. So we stayed in one, and most Earthships have a greenhouse at the front where it's all, it's the main part or the main front part of the Earthship. And when the sun hits it in the winter, it hits it like directly on the windows. Like most of the windows are diagonal, so when the sun hits, it's getting the maximum amount of the sun's attention in the winter. And even in the Earthship that we stayed in, it was cool because, and by cool I mean like cooler than the Earthship with the greenhouse. But one of the things I noticed that the windows were just straight up and down in the one that we stayed in, and there's no greenhouse in the front. It was just getting the beating from the sun head on. Inside, I'd say it was about 60 degrees or so. But I remember, though I was chilly, I wasn't like freezing. I couldn't see my breath or anything like that, right? And just being under a blanket, I remember actually sweating, and that was it. That was at night even. I remember feeling that way. So in the morning it felt great. So temperature-wise, they work. And the reason why I say this connects to circus, and the reason why we're talking dreams and goals for 2019, and it's not the whole new me, new whatever, but I was thinking, what if we took the concept of the Earthship, which provides its own electricity through solar panels, and it provides its own food through the greenhouse and reuses water over and over. Let's say we took this concept of being able to heat your own house and use less electricity than your average house, and we we put in like circus equipment into it, right? So let's go ahead and set the scene, yeah? I'm thinking, let's go ahead and say we build this Earthship, right? And we have it all set up like pretty much how they have it set up there in Taos. But next to it, we can go ahead and put a trapeze rig, okay? And seeing as how the style in which the buildings are built for this particular setup, it's all based on heating through the ground. So we're going to go ahead and, let's say we have to try to bury the rig a little bit. So we bury the rig, which honestly I think is cool anyways, because this way we can add levels. But if we bury the rig, then it'll make it easier to cover it with a building. We cover it with that building, we put glass around it, kind of the same idea or design that these Earthships already have, so it can still heat the space. And next to it, we'll say maybe another building, maybe it could be a dome one, but we put a truss in it. And I know you can make like dome buildings with rebar, but instead, let's say we make this dome building and there's a truss on the inside. So this is where we've got a similar setup to most places, like having a trapeze rig and a whole truss system, so you can have your aerial and you can have your trapeze, and within these spaces you can do other circus things as well. And final picture, what if we just take this whole concept and we put it in like some place where there's actual like more greenery rather than the desert, just so there's more access to, say, water and trees blocked for wind and all that jazz, rather than the open mesa they have out in New Mexico. And this is not a sort of dream or goal that, you know, is going to be accomplished in 1 year. So when we say dreams and goals for 2019, this is going way beyond that. So this is me sharing that. This is my thought, and I feel as though the biggest challenge in the whole thing, in terms of knowledge, not necessarily the work itself, but the knowledge, would be electricity. How do you power this sort of building off the grid? Like, because that's the whole thing. Like, these buildings are powered away from centralized systems, and so they use batteries. Mostly they use lead acid batteries, and from what the research I've been doing, things could be, you can get more power and longer lasting batteries if you use lithium ion batteries. So that means I've been trying to study how lithium ion batteries work, and on a smaller scale I'd like to try to build a lithium ion battery pack. So that would be this year's goal, that aims towards the completion of this large goal we're just talking about, right? So the small goal would make a little lithium ion battery pack and then attach it to, like, I don't know, say a bicycle, right? So this year, there we go. This year, I want to make an electric bicycle, and the main purpose behind it is to understand how the electricity goes, or how you can build a lithium ion battery pack. So that means we need to get a hold of, you know, these 18650 cells. So I think that's going to be it. I don't want to make this like this huge, like, electrical DIY sort of channel. Like, it's still circus, but this is the build up towards being related to circus and how circus benefits it later down the line. I mean, kind of living in this cool age of where everyone's finding the communities on Instagram and YouTube anyways, right? What if it happens in the physical world as well? And then we sort of form this little circus community, right? That'd be sweet. I'd be down. You down? I'm down. Let's be down together. 2 of us. Oh, 3 of us. 4. However many of you are watching, I'd say 2, like the camera, but like, let's all be down. We'll all be down to just, yeah, it'll be great. Things will be awesome. Totally fine. Great. Amazing. So yeah, those are dreams. 2019. Small things will build up to big. It's going to be fantastic. Tell your friends there's a big circus building coming soon, and it's going to provide food and energy and stuff, and it's going to be so good.